How to prepare for winter camping. First, we want to create a plan. Choose a shelter, winter gear selection, your heating systems, water, route planning, emergency preparedness, choosing a location, and meal prep in cold weather.
Well, welcome to Rebellion Off-Road. I'm Paul, this is Colleen. If you haven't tuned into our channel before, we want to welcome you. Today's episode's preparing for winter camping in the stunning Canadian Rockies in an Expedition Trailer 2.0.
A shelter is a place giving temporary protection from bad weather or danger. Choosing your shelter must keep you dry and provide protection from extreme conditions, rain, sleet, and snow.
Okay, so on this episode we'd like to discuss some of the practical parts of camping, and we feel that it's essential that we bought a off-grid trailer that is equipped with heating. It's equipped with running water, hot water. Of course in winter that doesn't apply because there's no heated tanks or anything like that. Right. This trailer is equipped with some robust tires, so we're able to go out. We're probably going to get some tire chains for it. I think that'll probably be the next thing for it, just because we're on precarious roads and stuff like that, and for the off trails I think it's a very important thing to have. What do you think?
It's great. I mean, winter's not my thing, it isn't, but with the trailer it makes it more tolerable. We have very warm sleeping quarters. You can build off the trailer, so Paul built like a little shelter last night that kept me warm cooking. There's just so many things about the trailer. Tenting, I probably, you wouldn't find me out here tenting. I just...
For us, it's not the way to go anymore. Yeah, and this guide is more for the people who, say, haven't gone out camping in winter and don't know the first thing about it. You know, I'm not saying that you have to go out buy an off-grid trailer, but I'm saying it definitely helps when it comes to packing extra gear. Jackets, blankets, all that sort of stuff, but we're going to show some of that, and I'm getting rained on here, but that's okay.
Winter gear consists of warm clothes, jackets, boots, gloves, toques, and of course climate appropriate sleeping bags.
Today's survival kit, I'll show you what I'm packing for a 2-day adventure and 1 overnight. I packed some winter socks and just some regular socks, plus the ones I'm wearing. So I got a few extras. A nice thermal night shirt, you know, is what I'd probably wear at night. We have heat and we have like minus 40 degree sleeping bags, so chances of us needing these are pretty slim, but you never know in case of an emergency. If you're heading out, maybe you don't have a trailer with a propane heater, you're gonna have to dress warm. You're gonna always have to layer up because you can always take those off. Just a regular shirt to wear. I like to wear sweatpants at night so that it's comfortable, and you know, if you have to go outside or whatever, you have some warmth to you. A shemagh, I just bring it. I don't think I've ever worn it. A neck tube, just in case it gets a little chilly or windy, you have some coverage over your neck and back so you're not getting cold. I bring a sweat top. I bring some sweaters and an extra pair of jeans. I don't really gonna wear these things probably, but I bring them anyways, just in case you get wet or fall in a creek or whatever the case may be. You always have to be prepared. And that's about it for what I'm packing for this trip out. One other thing I threw in my pack is obviously underwear, right? You have to have underwear as well. So that's the bag that we're taking with us. We bought these last year from Cabela's. They're a weatherproof, waterproof bag, so that's what we're going to put our clothes in for moisture reasons and everything else.
We'd like to discuss winter gear, as we feel it is very essential. As you could see in when we left home today, or yesterday, sorry, it was clear as a bell. It was 7 above, and that's degrees C, so it was quite warm. We got out here and it just was overcast and just started to lightly snow, just very little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then we woke up to collapsed tarps and, you know, everything was just, we had to shovel out, and that's why I brought my snow shovel. Hence, I didn't know it was supposed to be nice, but you never know when you're camping out. So lesson number one when you're going out camping in the backwoods in Canadian Rockies is you better pack for winter all the time. Like, pack for the worst case scenario, and you'll be happy you did. I know it's bringing a lot of extra stuff, but by all means, at least you can put on and take off if you get too hot.
Yeah. Packing gear is essential in layers. So you always want to bring light, but you also want to do the in-betweens as well, and the heaviest. So, you know, my Jeep is rigged with snow pants, a couple of winter jackets, snow boots, everything. Because you just don't know.
Yeah, I came in runners yesterday and wearing boots now.
And now boots, right? And I think also what you're sleeping in is important as well. You know, in Canada, especially in the wintertime, your regular sleeping bags don't do. We have minus 37s, 2 of them, and they are everything that you need.
Yeah, you don't want to get out of bed for sure. And a good point to what Colleen's saying is, we as experienced people out in the backwoods, where we've done this quite a bit of times now, and you know, you don't have to be experienced to own one of these, but you do have to be experienced in what you can come across. And we ran out of propane. Our batteries died in our off-grid trailer, and they were for pretty obvious reasons. I had the Starlink going, we were watching some movies, but the heater came on. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know how much current that drew, and drained our batteries enough that, you know, it wasn't bad. We didn't suffer by any means. We woke up to like 15 above. Colleen will show you a little picture up in the corner here of the temperature when we woke up, what it was inside versus outside. And at that point it was already 9:30, which we were getting up anyways. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter how much experience you have, you always have to be covered up with an alternative plan. You know, what if? We have a power source that we put in here today that we're running Starlink currently. Not that we need that, but it's part of our communications, and we'll mention that further on down the line, how important that is for being out in the backcountry.
Yeah. Common heating methods are either propane or diesel heaters, heated blankets, fire, propane fireballs, vehicle heat, and my personal favorite, body heat.
Okay, so that brings us to our next point, is sources of heat. Currently we have 2 fires going, one to keep Colleen warm, and the other one is to join around when we want to get some extra external heat. It sounds pretty sad, but she turns to ice and breaks. So
yeah.
So the sources of heat, we use wood fire, we use propane fire. We got a Propax heater that's 2,000 watt propane heater, Propax, and that thing will heat you galore inside that trailer. You're warmer than
too warm, actually.
Yeah, we had it down to like 55 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know exactly what that is. I think it's like 15 degrees in there or whatever, but it was pretty cool, or pretty nice in there when you took the minus 37 blankets off. So that's pretty much it. That covers the heat. Other than your vehicle heat, that's another source of heat that you get to have. If you can't get a fire started, because I had struggles today, and it's tiny things. Your little ignition lighters, ours didn't work. We have 2 of them. One is a backup. It didn't work. So now what do you do? Right? I got a sparker on my survival knife, which is the last resort.
And I brought some matches.
And Colleen brought some matches in her survival pack. That goes with her Jeep always. So it's always planning further ahead than you have to. I think that's the key. And we're not you know,
survivalists.
We're not going to tell you this is the must-dos and how-tos. This is how we do it, and how you do it. All I can do is suggestion. If you do what we're doing already, you're much further ahead than some.
Typical water systems is the use of water containers, having water on board with tank heaters and thermoses.
So water, we brought water. Obviously the tanks in here aren't a heated tank. Some RVs have heaters in their tanks, but they're not really 4-season campers. I don't know if there's too many of them. I think there's maybe a couple that actually are true 4 seasons. They said this one is a 4-season. Yeah, it's 4-season. You could camp in the wintertime in it without too many issues, but you can't use the heating water. You can't use any of that stuff. So we bring water in what?
Yeah, our containers. We so water freezes obviously in winter, and it, like, just for the short period of time that we were here, ice did layer on the top of the water. But the point that I'm trying to make is to prevent the freezing of the ice. There's a few ways that you can do that. Paul and I all, both know that if you fill your containers up with hot water instead of the cold water, and you insulate them in your cooler, like a thermos cooler, keep it off the ground or in a heated or somewhat heated environment, you won't have frozen water in the morning.
Yeah, like your vehicle, right? It would probably be okay in there if you put it in a cooler, right?
Yeah, there's other ways you can add alcohol, a bit of alcohol to your water.
Or just have alcohol.
Or just have alcohol, yeah. But you can add a little bit of alcohol to your water. It will lower the freezing point in the water. You can also add a little bit of salt to your water as well. But those methods are a little extreme for Paul and I don't really think we have to, especially having the heating sources that we have. The next best thing is to dig a hole and put your container of water inside the ground.
And it's true, you dig down probably a couple, well, you don't have to go a couple feet. Right now you probably go down a foot and it is warm. You can put your hands in there and it is a warm place.
Yeah.
So definitely a good, put it in a bag and then stick that into the ground. This way you're not getting your water all dirty, your containers. But yeah, excellent point.
As far as route planning, we like to check our local weather forecast, check road conditions, and check any warnings and avalanche dangers in the area we're going.
Another important information is when you're heading out is to check your weather. I put in weather at Dutch Creek area. I don't know if we're going to go that way. The wind's supposed to be pretty good by 9 o'clock. It's supposed to be up to 60 kilometers an hour, which is pretty crazy for pulling trailers, but we'll see. There's always some back roads we can take where I don't have to worry about being on the highway. But most important, you have your daytime highs. These are all in Celsius, and overnight lows. So -4. Yeah, we're going to be okay. It's -2 tonight and -3. So not really survival weather, but it can get cold, and -3 without the proper stuff is very cold. So another important thing to check, any alerts in the area that you're going to. There's a wind warning for up to 100 kilometers an hour wind gusts. So I don't know if we'll be heading that way or not. Once the trailer's hooked up and that, we'll have a look. So you can see how much of an area that wind warning is actually affecting. We'll be in this area over here, this general area. Sorry, up here. So yeah, we're going to be in it. So I just got to find a different route in there. I'll probably come around on the 40 on the back, so I'm not playing around with highways and stuff.
The next thing I'd like to discuss is probably planning your routes ahead of time. Now, we're in a place that we have never been, but I can tell you and rest assure you, before we came in, I was looking at the surroundings, so I know what it looks like ahead of time. Now, if you came into this like today, there's probably a lot of hidden items that you probably wouldn't be aware of, so you got to be careful of that so you're not popping tires and so forth. But route planning is a key. Weather forecast, as I showed on my video in my computer screen there, that we actually picked a route. We came up with a wind warning, but we figured the wind warning would be more for that it's blowing in nice extreme warm temperatures. But it was kind of the opposite. BC was getting heavy snow this weekend, and it kind of, well, we're close, right? We're close enough that the border is the mountains. So, it was definitely not what we thought was going to be in the forecast. But it worked out for this video because it was about winter camping.
It was a prime example of what you can wake up to. Being prepared for an emergency means that you must bring your prescription drugs, first aid kits available, vehicle recovery gear, extra fuel, and most importantly, bring your bear spray.
Next thing, obviously, is emergency preparedness. Medical, you got to be careful with your medical. Like Colleen's a type 1 diabetic, which she has to make sure her insulin doesn't freeze.
Absolutely. Insulin freezes, so you have to make sure that it's at the right temperature, that it doesn't freeze, or it won't be effective. Then you're in big trouble. Paul, he brings along his inhalers for his asthma and anything else, it's not just medication. Some people don't have any diseases. Let's just face it, we all need a first aid kit. We might get hurt. Paul and I both carry first aid kits in our Jeeps, and we also carry a bag full of medical supplies that is within our trailer as well,
Yeah.
in case we can't get to the Jeep and we're stuck inside the trailer. So,
Yeah.
you know, each unit has a safety pack or a first aid pack in it.
Yeah, and another thing I can't stress enough, even though it looks like the bears would be sleeping, they probably aren't right now. It's still too early, the weather's still too nice, and the hungry bears that didn't get enough nutrition during summer are out, so have bear spray. I can't stress that enough. I see so many videos where people are going out on these hikes, but they don't show any bear spray with them, and I'm flabbergasted by it.
Yeah, I cringe. I watch too many shows, and maybe I educate myself a little bit too much about bears. It's just a common fear I think everybody has of them, right?
Yep. As for vehicle, we have rescue stuff, we have tow ropes, we have clevises, we have pulleys, we have 2 capable winches, we have, what else? I brought a battery charger in the event that one of the batteries dies, we have booster cables.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like we're packing for a month, but I'm telling you, these are invaluable items to carry when you need them the most. I even put a little bottle jack in there in case something happened with one of the tires that I could, you know, prop up to get the tire, you know, off the trailer or the vehicle. So I can't stress enough, having those type of items are key essentials. Some people even put those hand warmers in their emergency packs, you know, just in the event of, you know, you got no heat, you can just break one of them and put them in they're called hot pockets, I think is what they are, aren't they?
Yeah, hot pockets.
Yeah, and you can get those at Canadian Tire, or they're just called hand warmers, and they're great for your boots. You know, you can put them in at the end of your boots if you have trouble keeping your feet warm. So that I would suggest doing, you know, having just in your vehicle, just as an emergency prepared kit, because you don't have to be camping to be in an emergency.
Yeah, recovery is important. Recovery is a key element in what we do, and although I don't think, and I don't want to jinx us, but I don't think we've really actually had to go into full-fledged recovery before. We do carry it no matter what, and it's one thing that I would never leave home without.
Yeah, so that should take care of the emergency preparedness. We got axes and saws. I brought a chainsaw, and the reason why I brought a chainsaw this time, not because it's easy to use, I bought it just in the event because we had such wind gusts yesterday that I thought, well, what if we are back in the woods here in a trail, you know, a tree covers the trail that you need to get out on. So it'd be handy to have one of those in the event of, you're not going to sit there with a handsaw all day. If you had to, you'd probably have to, but I'm just saying, sometimes just, you know, having those ease of tools is the way to go. Don't need to rush out and buy one, but it's definitely nice to have one for sure.
Shovels.
Shovels. Can't stress enough. We brought a snow shovel. And if you would have seen the snow shovel at the beginning, I think I got it in one of my shots, but you'd have said, what the hell does he buy a snow shovel for out there? There's no snow. Look today, right?
Yeah.
We're able to clear off a path so our feet aren't getting wet. And yeah, no, it's very valuable to have. And you never know what you're going to come across. We haven't left here yet, so, you know, that can change for us too, where you might need to see something. So,
when choosing your location, ensure you have an alternate route out. Backing into sites makes an easier exit in heavy snow events.
Yeah.
okay, next is setting up camp. You know, when we first got here, we picked out a spot that, you know, we backed in everywhere because we figured if, you know, weather changes on us, we can pull straight out. We don't have to try and figure out how to back up in snow drifts. We just go straight. So that's another thing when you're looking at designing or backing into a stall in wintertime. Make sure you know your path out of here because it's going to help you a lot. Save you a lot of trouble, right?
Yep.
And we picked a nice spot. It's open sky, right? If we had to, I can send a drone up and I can see exactly where I am. I can tell you where the road is from here. You know, we're close to a creek, you know, just got to be careful of all that stuff, right? Just, if you needed water, it's there. And like I said, this is not so much a survival as being prepared, so you're not in that situation.
Yeah.
Right? It's a preparedness video, and I think that, you know, Colleen's touched on those points that after, you know, getting set up for a winter camp, it can become a survival situation if you're not prepared. So this is about being prepared.
Yeah, preparation is key.
One other thing we'd like to touch on is cooking in cold climates.
Preparing meals in cold weather can be hell. Remember, prepare your meals at home. Bring freeze-dried packaged meals and canned items for quick heat and go.
For you guys that haven't been out cooking before in cold climates, it is a bear to do. It's not fun. You're touching cold surfaces. Your fingers are exposed to wind. You know, unless you're camping or cooking within a shelter. You know, that I would advise too, if you had one of those shelters like we do, one of those ice shelters.
Yeah.
Perfect for that. You can go inside and get out of the inclemencies of weather. You can cook and be warm. So.
Yeah, but cooking is tough, and my suggestion with that, and I mean, not everybody does it, but probably the key to making cooking easier in cold weather is preparation at home before you come. So prep, you know, homemade soups, chilies, stews. Prep all of it at home. If there's any cutting or shredding or anything like that that needs to be done, do it at home, put them in baggies and bring them out. It's a lot easier to dump a baggie than it is to start chopping up a tomato or a cucumber or whatever. So preparation at home would be key with food. Or, I mean, we've said it before, if it's extremes, if you're out overlanding in extreme weather, why not just buy those bagged meals and heat water? There's nothing easier. I'm not a big fan of them. I haven't come across too many products that I really, really like. But hey, food fills the belly, right?
Yeah, you always need the quick snacks too, right? Like,
Yeah.
in case you can't get out there, in case you run out of propane, you need something that you can, you know, get food in your belly quick, right? Especially out here, it's amazing how much energy you actually burn. Cutting firewood, even getting wood, you know, is more, I guess, more energy consumption than would be in summertime, because you're hauling from slippery locations and you're clearing snow and so forth. But
Even walking through snow.
yeah, it's challenging.
Communication is your most important part of your plan. We use Starlink with our cell phones, and once we find our location, we drop a pin to family or friends. We communicate between each other with CB radios.
I guess lastly, we want to say that, you know, once you're prepared for winter, it's got a lot to offer for activities. It's got, you know, drone activities where you're flying for photography. It's got snowshoeing. It's got ice fishing. It's got treks. You know, you can go on little hikes if you want and enjoy yourself. You know, it's not a fear video. It's nothing to do with that. It's just once you're prepared, you can enjoy it a lot more. Trust me.
Yeah. I think overlanding, camping, whatever you guys want to term it, I think all seasons have their own risks, right? Every season has a risk. But I think just playing it safe in all seasons is key. And like Paul said, preparation and having fun.
I got a bunch of notes that I've been taking, so I'm actually reading. I don't have that great of a memory, so we have to go on that. So basically, as you embark on your winter journeys with safety tips in mind, like we have suggested, just remember to enjoy yourself and enjoy this beauty that the Canadian Rockies has to offer. It's a different kind of camping. I think it's beautiful. It's so quiet. You are really the only ones out here. There's a few people that are out and about, you know, I don't know, mile, maybe 2 miles away, that I picked up on my drone yesterday, but I'm telling you, it's the best camping experience you'll have. There's no bugs. You don't have to worry about forest fires unless you set one, right? But you don't have to worry about being trapped with that. The animals are still out. You got to be wary of that.
Yeah.
But it's really enjoyable.
In closing, guys, just remember, it's better to be prepared in winter camping than come unprepared and get yourself into a survival situation.
Closing, I guess, if you found this guide, I guess it's a kind of a preparedness guide. If you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe, and share your experiences of your winter camping experiences and what you found after you were out that, hey, maybe I should have remembered to do that, or maybe we didn't touch on it. Like Colleen said, we're no experts and we don't claim to be, but we have enough experience to call us, we're experts in our own way. You know, we got tarps, we got everything. We're ready to go. You know, if it hit minus 30, we'd still be ready to go.
Yep.
But on that note,
Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe
Have fun.
and try not to get COVID. And we will see you on the next one.